We'll be back from the break. It's 5 minutes past 9 o'clock, and our discussion continues. Taxation of employment income this particular morning. I still have Mr. Twaha Kayondo Mlandira from the Domestic Taxes Office at the Uganda Revenue Authority. And also just to remind you that investment is very easy and simple. Lately with Zabo as a platform from Alltex East Africa, which says do something new with your money, because your money is your future. So dial *292# and follow the prompts, select the bonds that you wish to definitely pick from there, and that is the way to go further. Of course, the markets open at 8:15 a.m. and close at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Zabo is simply telling you, if you have no account yet, you can register with your NIN, and in the next 24 hours, investment will be underway. And of course, with a minimum of 15,000 Uganda shillings, you will be ready to kickstart off your investment journey. The markets are closed during weekends and on public holidays. Zabo, my money, my future. Alltex East Africa says do something new today. And the only good thing that you can do today is by investing in bonds and securities. Mr. Twaha, as we continue here with our discussion, my other question was basically looking at, is there employment income that enjoys tax exemption in any way, if you're to break it down for us as well?
Sonko and dear viewers, okay. Smart 24 TV, definitely yes. Not all employment income is taxable. We have some employment, different categories of incomes that come or arise under employment or during execution of your employment that are exempt. For example, pension. If you're a pensioner, the amounts of money that are given to you are not taxable. Because while you were working, say this money is presumed to have been deducted from you, and the tax was paid then. Then you look at medical expenses. You can't tax medical expenses. Really? Then you become... by the time you start taxing medical expenses, then you've become inhuman. Someone is struggling to have life, and you're saying that on the amounts of money that you're receiving to treat yourself, or that are being given to you as medical expenses to treat you and your family, pay tax. It's the reason you see that even when we are charging value-added tax, you will find that we have schedules of items that are zero rated, standard rated, and exempt. So you find that you can't find medicine, and you're saying you're going to charge VAT on a specific medicine that is supposed to aid people who are going to stay around and pay tax. Then if you look at official employment expenditure, official employment expenditure does not attract tax. You can't say, I have gone to Gulu, I have gone to, say, train people, and along the way, I spent fuel on the vehicle that took me, which is official duty. Then I reached there, I spent money on providing, say, lunch to the participants as a trainer. That amount of money that was given to me in my account to go and execute such duty is deemed to be, or it is termed to be official employment expenditure. I'm executing my work, and the expense has come in because it has to come so that this given activity proceeds. Then you look at meals and refreshments provided by the employer, and a common umbrella. You have where you go and you eat, you sign, you have the same meals, you have the same time, and the money is provided by the employer. I take, for instance, a company like Civil Aviation Authority, which pays meals for its employees, or Uganda Revenue Authority, where all these meals are provided under one umbrella or one hall. We all go there at a specific time and eat and move out. You can't say you're going to tax such meals, and refreshments. Then you can't tax local service tax. The amounts that are paid by the employer for local service tax is exempt. Actually, it is an amount that is an allowable deduction when you are coming in to factor in to determine taxable or chargeable income. We talked about chargeable income Sonko last time.
Yeah.
And I remember very well talking about local service tax as an allowable deduction on chargeable income. Yes. Before you determine chargeable income of a business, you factor in all the amounts that have been expensed under local service tax. That shows that it is an exempt. That's why we don't include it on the chargeable income and then we levy a tax. We first remove it. Okay. That shows it is an exempt. Then any amounts earned that are less than 235,000. You know very well that under the Income Tax Act and purposely the schedule that determines how we tax employment, the different bands, you realize that any citizen, any employee who earns 235,000 or below is exempt.
The ones who earn, but most of the
actually we call it the threshold, above which any amounts that go above 235,000.
That is on a monthly.
Yes, on the salary received, then will attract a charge of a tax.
Okay.
But if you're there out and yes, your salary is 190,000, 200,000, 230,000,
220,
235,000.
In that bracket.
Yes.
Okay.
You enjoy all your money also, because really we look at you and we are like, yes, this money is negligible. This person needs to survive.
Yes.
But the moment you go out of this bracket and you have, say, 280,000, 290,000.
Okay.
Okay? If you have 240,000, 250,000, then we come in as URA and say, hey, the amount that exceeds this is then charged at the rates we are going to discuss ahead. Okay. Then terminal benefits. If you have worked for a company, okay, and you've worked for 10 years and above, the terminal benefits that accrue and are supposed to be given to you by your employer will be exempt 25% of the amounts. I can repeat this.
Okay.
Twaha Kayonda has worked with the Uganda Revenue Authority for a period of 12 years. And Twaha Kayonda resigns. If Twaha Kayonda resigned from URA and he has served the institution for 10 years and above, 25% of the amounts or emoluments that are going to come to Twaha Kayonda as terminal benefits will be exempt. The 75% will be taxable. Hope I'm clear.
Yes.
You have 100% terminal benefits.
Okay.
We shall exempt 25% of your terminal benefits because you have really been a true servant. You've stayed with your employer for above 10 years. In other words, we are promoting continuity. We are promoting people to stay at
their different
workplaces for specialization purposes and the benefits that come along with specialization. Not to work here today and 2 years you're going. If you worked and it's less than 10 years, the terminal benefits that come from your employer will be taxed at 100%. The 100% will be the amount of money that will constitute chargeable income under this context, under employment income. Then if you have transport costs, I came to Smart TV here and I came to execute duty for URA. And so if it happened that I drove my car or I got Uber I had a special hire, and it costed me say 50,000 from the URA tower to this place. Those amounts, if they are going to be paid back to me, are not taxable because really it was transport. My work. Any allowances or reimbursement of the actual cost of accommodation and travel, meals and refreshment that an individual or an employee incurred in performance of employment duties is not taxable. It happens that today I have, say, a conference in Nairobi, and I am going to receive an air ticket. I will perhaps receive travel insurance. I'll eat and I'll have accommodation. And these costs are incurred while I'm executing my duties. You can't say you're going to tax me. I mean, we can't tax you as you are, and there is no provision to that. And therefore, such amounts of income are exempt.
Okay.
Yes.
And now let's look at what is a benefit. What is a benefit in kind?
A benefit in kind is a facilitation, which is either directly or indirectly by an employer,
to the employee,
in relation to a past, a present, or future employment. It may not necessarily be contractual. So any benefit that you receive, which is directly or indirectly, for the present or past or future employment, is referred to as a benefit in kind. And a benefit in kind is provided by an employer. It can be provided by the third party on behalf of the employer. It may not necessarily be that the employer is the one providing it. No, it can be a third party providing it on behalf of an employer. Then we refer to that as a benefit in kind. Yes. And
now let's head into the computation process of this employment income tax. How is it taxed? Because if you're to give us a breakdown with at least figures so that the employer and the employee know how this is done at the tax man is best.
We shall start with individuals and who are residents. You realize that the resident, if you're a resident, and the amount of money earned in respect for your employment aggregated in a year is 2,820,000. Then tax charged is nil. That means that if you aggregated all the amounts of money that you're earning, those amounts are literally below the threshold. And that's why.
If the amount is not exceeding how much?
We have aggregated all the monies you've earned in a year. And the amounts are less than, not going above 2,820,000.
2,820,000.
If you did some simple mathematics, you would divide by 12. And you see how much.
How much that person,
Yes. And then you realize that if you have amounts exceeding 2,820,000, but they are not exceeding 4,020,000, we shall charge you only 10% of the amount by which chargeable income exceeds the threshold, which was 2,820,000. So this time round we shall get the 4,020,000. And we less 2,820,000. The difference there will be charged at 10%.
Now I've come to realize that the only resident individuals who are not charged are the ones who are, it takes us back to those who are earning less than 235,000.
Definitely.
those are the only ones who are tax exempted in here.
Did
in
you
terms of the
divide?
computation. Yes.
Did you divide?
Because when you divide by 12, you will
Yes.
still get it 235,000.
The reason I told you that maybe perhaps you did more mathematics more than you aid me, and then we get the one.
Okay.
So you realize that if you aggregate 235,000 times 12, you get to that figure
Yes, of 2.820,000.
for a year. And therefore it is nil. Because we say those ones, that's the threshold. However, if you get out of that bracket,
Okay.
the amounts that go above and they are not exceeding 4,020,000 will be charged at 10% only.
So for those with amounts not exceeding, so you're in the those who are in the bracket of 2,820,000,
But they don't exceed 4,220,000. 4,020,000.
Yes, they are charged from URA will only
Be
tax 10%.
10%.
Of their
And the
annual
10%
income.
will be the amount
Okay.
within which chargeable income exceeds 282,000.
82,000.
I mean,
820,000.
yes. So you realize that if we could do a simple calculation here, and someone earns, say, 4 million, okay?
Yeah.
We shall get 4 million less the 282,000, because that one is not tax. It is
Okay.
still the threshold.
Oh.
What remains
From that.
from the difference is where we shall slump a tax at a rate of 10%.
So what
that
remains
amount.
here is a 1,180,000.
Yes. So we shall get 10% of that is tax to pay.
Okay, briefly for the viewers and the employees out there, what you need to know here is when URA is taxing the employment income of you, the employee, the issue is if you're earning less than 235,000 Ugandan shillings. So if you
simply enjoy all your
you
money.
enjoy all your money,
Yes.
so it's non-taxable.
Yes.
That is 235,000 Ugandan shillings. Now, of which by the end of the year you're earning 2,820,000 if you're to add the entire 12 months of your employment. So you have no tax. Your income is clearly non-taxable, so you will enjoy your 235,000. The same applies to the other people who are earning less than that amount. But now, if you're earning 236,000 onwards, you will definitely be taxed. And for those who are earning above the 236,000, now for example, in an event, if you're earning 4 million Ugandan shillings,
Yes.
what Uganda Revenue Authority will do, will have, if they are to tax your annual monthly salary, they will have to subtract 2,820,000 of the non-taxable
Which is the
income.
exempt.
Yes, the
Yes,
exempt
the non-taxable.
Then
Perfect.
the remaining is what they will definitely subtract to charge the 10%.
10%.
Okay.
Exactly. And then if you are in the band of 4,020,000,
Okay.
but you don't exceed 4,920,000, we shall first have, when we are calculating your taxable amounts, we shall have, say, 120,000
Okay.
plus 20% by which chargeable income exceeds the 4,020,000. What does this mean?
Okay.
This means that if you're earning, say, 4,800,000, we shall first have a default figure of 120,000 put aside.
Okay.
Then we shall get 20% by which chargeable income exceeds the 4,020,000. So we shall get the 4,800,000 less the 4,020,000, and what remains will be charged at 20%, and the 20%, the result of the 20% of that amount will be added to the 120 to get the amount of tax to pay.
Okay.
Then if you exceed 4,920,000, we first have a slump of 300,000 put aside. Remember, the other side we had like 120.
Yes.
Now for you are 4,920,000 and above. We first put 300 aside.
Okay.
Then we shall also add plus 30% of the amount by which chargeable income exceeds this amount, which is 4,920,000.
Okay.
However, where a chargeable income of the individual exceeds 120 million, that's 12 million a month. After the above calculation, we shall add a 10%.
Okay.
Because now for you are in a table of big men, you should surely pay something a little more.
So I've come to realize the more you earn, the more you have to render.
Definitely yes, definitely yes.
Okay.
Definitely yes. The more you earn, the more you have to pay something to the national treasury.
Okay.
Because if I earn small, then I pay small.
Very true.
It will literally be, tax should be equitable.
Very true.
I mean, when I talk about the canons of taxation, it should be equitable. When I talk about equitable, it means that it should balance the boat. Okay. In the language we talk of these days.
Okay.
You can't see someone who is earning small money and you're taxing them too much, and someone who has big money you're taxing less. Then that's not equitable. We should balance the boat.
Okay, let's now sum up this with the pay as you earn. How about the pay as you earn? How is it calculated in regards to payment of taxes?
The pay as you earn, you realize that anybody who earns amounts of money that are less than 235,000 doesn't pay. It goes back to
the others, the same figure.
Yes, the same figure. And then when you look at someone who earns above 235,000, but does and that amount does not exceed 335,000, we slump a charge of 10%.
Okay.
10%. And then if you're exceeding 335,000, but you don't exceed 410, we first get a 10,000, put it aside.
Okay.
Then we shall charge 20% by which the remaining amount exceeds 300 and what? And 50,000.
Okay.
And if you are earning 335,000, but you don't exceed 410, then we charge you 10,000 plus 20% by which chargeable income exceeds that amount. If you earn 410 and above, we shall first have a 25,000 put aside, then plus 30% by which that amount exceeds the 410. And if you earn 10 million and above, it goes back to the other one where we discussed that an extra 10% is charged. Because really, you earn more. It goes back to the way we had aggregated for the annual, and now we are dealing with the monthly.
Monthly.
Yes, the monthly. And so that's how we tax.
Okay. Now, as we are concluding with with our discussion, in your parting shots, I would wish to know, in these contracts of employment that people are given, especially the employees, is it very wise enough for the employee to ask about the issue to do with how they're going to be taxed off their money?
Definitely yes. Okay. Because you should know how much is going to be paid.
Okay.
Because the employer can give you a gross pay, and the gross pay is the one that attracts tax. Or you can have a contract where the employer simply tells you, I'll be giving you 4 million net. That means that the employer is factoring in the amounts of tax that constitute to you getting the 4 million as your net pay. and you will be paying it back end. That means that your gross pay now is not 4 million.
Okay.
But in the contract, he has told you, I'm going to give you 4 million net. That becomes implied that your gross pay is not 4 million.
Okay.
Because they are compulsory deductions, like pay as you earn, but also Social Security, which is National Social Security Fund,
Okay.
which is mandated that some amounts of money are removed from your pay and then taken to the Social Security Fund for the times when you lose employment, when you become invalid, when you retire, to remain valid and sustaining yourself. So those amounts must constitute to the gross pay. But where a contract is not spelled out directly, it means that it is implied that the employer has factored those costs and will be paying them, and for you will be earning your 4 million as spelled out.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And many thanks for being part of our discussion this morning, and thank you for making your time, Mr. Twaha Kayondo Mulangira, who is Officer Domestic Taxes at the Uganda Revenue Authority. Of course, we're looking at basically taxation of the employment income and how it is surely done for you as an employee and the employer. This is a discussion where you would surely need to be part of. Well, of course, you can go onto our YouTube channel, Smart24 TV Live, to follow up from where we kick-started off if you've not caught up with the discussion and more of the discussion as well. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko. Coming up shortly after the break, we shall be looking at the SMB on ground, this time around looking at circles. Stick around.